Hey everyone, this is my instructional video on the real life uses and applications of decimals. I'm going to jump in straight with the overall topic, which is decimals, just the use of them. Decimals are used to show in part numbers, so numbers that aren't full on whole numbers, they are just, for example, 1.9 is almost 2, but it's not exactly 2. So we'd have the decimal point there, so with one decimal point then 9, to show that it's not a whole number, it's a whole number then a part, so almost another whole number. I'm going to jump straight in and go to the Ausvell section of decimals, which is what the part will relate to with my activity and my subtopic from decimals. It is on level 6, it's connect decimal representations to the metric system. Alright, there's a few things that decimals can be used for. So you've got distance, so it's if there's different races, you'd have a race that might go for 12.5 kilometers, you wouldn't say it goes for 12,500 meters. There's also to represent large amounts of money. I know we don't normally teach decimals for money, so you wouldn't go to a store and say this costs 0.65 of a dollar, it's 65 cents. But for the large amounts of money, so you've got, if you buy a house, and it's $1,500,000, you're more likely just to say it's 1.5 million instead of every time saying it's $1,500,000. It's just a quick and easy way of how everyone says it. Decimals can also be used to measure things, whether it's just the lengths of rooms, bits of wood if you're building stuff. It can also be used to measure around different things, properties like garden beds. And this is what leads me into my sort of subtopic, because these are all real life ways that decimals can be used. If you use them to measure around a garden bed and it's at 1 meter and 30 centimeters, you're not going to keep saying that. You will just say it's 1.3 meters. So for my activity, what I would say is that I'd get the class, there's different students there are, to get measuring tapes and to go out and find a garden bed or just a small fenced area where it's like a little yard, chicken coop, animal hutches, things like that. Measure around it, preferably in a rectangle or a square shape, just so it's easier for the next part of the activity. So once they've found and measured the side lengths of whichever area or space they want to measure, then to write those measurements down in their book, bring them to class, and then in class what we would do is then make a small model of what they measured. So if they measured a little garden bed, you'd make a little model of a garden bed using a box, different coloured bits of paper to represent the flowers that were inside the garden bed. They can draw on the side of the box, different things like that. Now what I've done is I've actually made a little template one I did just for before, just so I could show an example of the activity. So you've got the little garden bed thing here, it's got the measurement on each side, so 1.2 meters. And then it's 0.8 meters, and because it's a rectangle, you'd have the same on the other side, 1.2 and then 0.8. So what I'll get the children to do next, once they've made their model of whatever area they measured, I would get them to work out the perimeter, which is adding up all the side lengths of what they measured, and also work out the area, which in this case being a rectangle would be length times width. So for my object, the perimeter would be 4 meters, because you've got 0.8 plus 0.8 plus 1.2 meters plus 1.2 meters, which in total equals 4 meters. So then my area, which would be 1.2 meters multiplied by 0.8 meters, which would give you 0.96 meters in total. So then once the kids have all made theirs, done their measurements, worked out the area and the perimeter of their shapes, I would then get them to present it to the class, just so that all the children and other kids in the class can see what their findings were, if their maths was done right, see how creative they were with the model they made. And yeah, thanks for watching the video.